Welcome in on this beautiful Friday night from Sacramento. The Kings are in the land of the Valley Sun in Phoenix, playing the Suns, a depleted Suns team. We will get to your comments, get you ready for tip-off tonight, let you know who's in and out. I'm Ryan in Sacktown. This is the pregame show on If You Don't Like That.
3, 2, 1, go.
Sacramento miscue. Carter, stolen by Williams. And look at this. Oh, you don't like that. You don't like NBA basketball. Fox, goodbye. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. The exclamation point from De'Aaron Fox. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
Boy, that's an ESPN highlight right there. Whoa. Carlson comes in. How about this? Holy moly, Jim Bob Bowley. That is a major league smush.
Welcome in. Appreciate you guys being here on a Friday night. Good to be back in the seat here on the pregame show. I'm Ryan in Sacktown. We're going to get you ready for the Kings and the Suns. The Kings no longer in the NBA in-season tournament. Holy moly, what a spectacle. I mean, what are we talking about here? I got some takes on that a little bit later, but we'll get to those in a minute. As we always start off the show, let's go. As Ash says, let's go indeed. Kings coming in to Phoenix against a very, very depleted Phoenix Suns team. Bradley Beal out, Kevin Durant out, among others. So getting right to it, Sports Freak, he usually kicks the show off. Well, the key guys are out, including Durant for the Suns. The Kings can't get complacent. I know where this is going. They still have Devin Booker. Of course. Devin Booker is an incredible player in this league. I think everybody knows that. And Devin Booker has shown that he can definitely have his way with the Kings when he wants it. And so, in fact, this game scares me a little bit more without Durant, without Beal, than it actually does with them, because I would like to see them at full strength. I think the Kings would play a little bit better. Those guys are a little bit older. I think that's a little bit more up-tempo, up-style pace for the Kings. Usually a quick start is how they like to come out on the road. But what do we know about the Kings now? I mean, shoot, we are almost into that 20-25 game sample size, right, that Grant always talks about. He always says, oh, we need Keegan to splash down again. Yeah. That would be nice. We'll get to him in a second. But we always talk about that sample size to see where this team is at. And while their record, speaking of the Kings, looks good, I mean, there's nothing really that we can say in terms of consistency. And it's that big C word that Grant's talked about all season, but it's come up to bite the Kings in the butt. And even looking at what happened to this New Orleans Pelicans team, who the Kings played last game and were bumped out, I mean, really bumped out of the in-season tournament, couldn't get anything going at home against them, really for the third time this year. Yet New Orleans gets blown out by the Lakers in the in-season tournament. I mean, what is it? Is it matchups with this Kings team? What's causing the inconsistency? Because we can look at the season splits. We can look at road versus away. We can look at, first quarters, second quarters, first half, second half. But nothing's jumping off the page. I've seen a few stats in terms of the point differential, but it's really tricky to figure out at this point with this team. What I do know about this team is this is a game they've got to come out and grab. And this is going to be a game where a lot of these Phoenix Sun players are going to come out ready to go. I mean, they're going to get a chance to play. And this is really, for these guys, a chance to show how they can play long-term, because there's no guarantee that Durant's going to be on the floor for 82 games as we're seeing tonight. No guarantee, as we've seen all season with Bradley Beal, that he's going to remain on the floor. Yet the Suns, a 12-9 record, still fairly respectable. They started off started off slow, got a little bit warmer, and now they're at 12-9. But it'll be a good matchup for the Kings. First time they'll see him this season, but undermanned as always. So let's get to some more of your comments. Yeah, Keegan needs to splash down, as we said earlier. Hello from Serbia. Dobro Otro. Appreciate you checking in. Karf, what's up, my man? Hey, Ryan, welcome back. Appreciate it. How did the game get on the schedule? I had the Kings off till Monday. It's the in-season tournament. So what they were looking at is the different teams that did not make it per group through the elimination rounds. So They mixed and matched, and that was, it's one of those things. Are they doing it right? Is it a quick travel, quick decision? It kind of is. I mean, but granted, Phoenix not that far away, but I think it will become more smooth, more normal if this continues on with the NBA and continues on in Vegas with this in-season cup. But yeah, if you look at the Kings schedule, they were off from the 2nd to or their last game was the 2nd, and then the 11th, I believe, was the next game back, leaving a gap for obviously whatever would happen for them in the tournament. So yeah, good call out on that. What is it, my man from that's my boy Mobile Fitness from Africa. I hope you had a great trip to San Diego, Ryan. I appreciate. Oh, it's Dorian. What's up, Dorian? My bad. How you doing, brother? Appreciate it. Happy to be here. Yeah, San Diego was beautiful. You give me an ocean view. Got in touch with Rich a couple times down in San Diego. It was really, really nice. I'm happy to be back, though, and happy to be talking Kings basketball right here on If You Don't Like That. Grant and Jerry will be here at halftime. Can't wait for that. So if you haven't already, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel as well. We always got the Kings covered for you with content, start to finish on game nights. And then additionally throughout the week, Jerry Reynolds Wednesday football. You like football? Sean Salisbury on Mondays. So a little something for everybody. Come on back, though. Grant and I wrap up everything tonight after the game. So, and we're getting some more questions about these games. How did they decide the Kings should play Phoenix over the other teams? I'm not sure. I'm really not. I mean, it's one of those things, like, if you can understand, excuse me, having some mic issues here. If you can understand the collective bargaining agreement, then you could probably understand the way they do this postseason tournament. It is the first year of it. I think it was based off of records in group play. Do not quote me on that. I didn't put a lot of weight into this postseason tournament, or this in-season tournament, I should say, because why would we? I mean, you're getting what exactly the NBA wanted to get out of it now. You've got upstart Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton, just showing out on a national stage, going up against his, the guy he looked up to, his hero in LeBron James tomorrow night. So it's one of those things. I think the Pacers ultimately win that game, but enough about those games and how we got here. The bottom line is the Kings are playing the Suns tonight, an undermanned Suns team, and the Kings have an opportunity to take advantage of this team, but also this team in Phoenix has an opportunity to show out on the Kings defensively. And you talk about the penetration. Grant said a rant. Where's the Kings defense? I watched that. Are they just letting guys run by them? They are. And now you're going to have Devin Booker, one of the best pick and roll specialists in this league, to play against tonight. Somebody that De'Aaron Fox is very, very familiar with, a University of Kentucky guy as well. So, like I said, speaking of Devin Booker, he can fill it up. He's filled it up against the Kings so many times, and this is not a game you can come in lackadaisical. This is a game you need a little something from everybody, and you put it out of reach early. Do not let Phoenix think that they can hang around and win this game, because if you do, they have Devin Booker and the Kings do not. So that's what it ultimately comes down to. A very, very warm hello from me and my fellow Serbian folks. What's up, Baki? How are you, Ryan? I am doing great. Are you ready to rumble? Yes, I am. Glad Serbia is ready to rumble as well. Speaking of rumbling, if you haven't made a dinner decision yet and your stomach's rumbling, you have got to go check out Bennett's Westside Grill, their newest location in Rockland. We talk about it all the time, but if you have not been to Bennett's yet, you have been living under a rock. Go check it out. They are one of our favorite sponsors here on the show. Brian and his team just serve it up unlike any other restaurant in town, whether it's the service, the food. They've got a little bit of everything for everyone. Also, don't forget about their specials. Prime rib special this weekend. You can always get that to go, watch the game at home tonight, or you could head on to Bennett's, watch the game there. I'm sure Brian's got it on one of the TVs. They've got nice bar and happy hour, and enjoy one of their 60 different glasses of wine on I shouldn't say on tap, but by the glass. So anyways, go check out Bennett's. Not only do they have the newest location in Rockland, which is the Westside Grill, they also have locations in Roseville and off of Howe in Fair Oaks. Bennett's Westside Grill. Go in and tell them you heard about him here on the Kings pregame show, halftime show, and postgame show. And if you don't like that, we love hearing back from Brian on that. Lance, what is up, my man? Are you concerned with the Kings' poor free throw shooting? Lance, we've talked about it all season. I'm absolutely concerned with it, and I'm really concerned about how they're getting to the line. Again, come back to the consistency word. It's inconsistent. You don't see a quarter where, or on a quarter-to-quarter basis, you don't see typically around the same number of free throws the Kings are getting. And I get that will vary by game and matchups, but they go a couple quarters with only 6 free throws, and then they explode for 25 free throws in a third quarter. So it needs to be better. But on top of that, these guys, if there's a team that's ready to be playing at a pace like the Kings want to play at, it's the Kings. So free throws are one of those things that they absolutely need to be able to home in. You can't blame on being tired. You can't blame on anything else. These guys can shoot the ball like none other. They can knock their free throws down. So I'm with you there. Need to take the open twos when the threes aren't going in. Yeah, Lance. So here's the other thing about that. Is this team too unselfish? Because I think they are. And I'm is this team, when I look at them and them passing up a 2-point shot for a 3-ball, is that because they have preference or they prefer the 3-ball, or is that because somebody is just not confident to pull? And I'm thinking it's the first. They are not confident to pull. Sabonis, so many times, 18 feet it in, wide open shot. He's looking around, not sure what to do, even though the guys are kind of hanging off of him. Same thing, Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray on the swing. Domantas Sabonis getting into the lane, even if it is not a jump shot, gets into the lane. He's looking to pass before he's looking to shoot. So I think they are too unselfish. And when they become too unselfish, the 3-ball is what ends up getting shot more because they're later in the shot clock. Their offense is not set up to be playing 20, 22 seconds into the shot clock. Mike Brown wants this offense to go, get shots up with 9, 10, 11 seconds left on the shot clock. So I think unselfishness is the problem. You need to have guys that are going to step in and know that they can knock down that shot. They're almost not even thinking about the shot sometimes, in my opinion. They're so focused on where to go with it instead of being a threat themselves with the ball. So that's what I kind of think it is. Appreciate the kind thoughts, Gary. Love you back too, buddy. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Lance. Appreciate that. So yeah, Kings, Suns. Here's what you got to know. We didn't get a really good sample size of the Suns last year. Durant was out when the Kings saw him. Obviously, you look at what the Suns did last year. Booker was out for a degree of time. And the Suns at times still gave the Kings a little bit of a matchup problem. I don't expect the same tonight. I think with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, those guys are able to chase around Devin Booker. You mix in whoever it's going to be off the bench. Mike Brown, the one thing when we talk about consistency, again, rotations, inconsistency, it's not there. And I get that they have not been playing with a full deck, right? The Kings have had injury issues all season, but a lot of those guys don't know who is going to get that call game to game for those fringe 5 to 7 minutes. Should it be Sasha? Should it be Davion? And so the Kings have the ability to guard Devin Booker, or at least throw different looks at him tonight, because that's ultimately what it's going to come down to. What are they going to take away from Devin Booker? Are they going to allow Devin Booker to get to the lane? I would think so, because the on-ball defense has been so poor. Do you throw a wrinkle in? I know the Kings have been playing with some half-court traps. I know the traps haven't been great, but it's great to see increased pressure. Do you pick up Devin Booker full court? And so if I'm Mike Brown, I'm looking at, I've got a bunch of guys with 6 fouls that I know that probably are not going to play 20, 25 minutes, but I know they can annoy the ball. I know that they can give Book a different look each and every time down the court. And if he's able to do that and establish that and get those guys in that mindset, I think that's how you play Devin Booker. It's you throw everything against the wall and you figure out what's going to stick, but you also say, I am not going to allow him to come over the ball screens and have a wide open 3. I am not going to allow him to get a straight line drive off of a pick and roll, because that is where Devin Booker is going to feast on this Kings team if they are indecisive on the pick and roll. So a lot to look for, a lot of familiar faces. Chimezie Metu was a Sun earlier this season. See if he is still in the mix in the land of the rising sun. But the bottom line, this is a game that the Kings certainly need to have. Your starters for the Kings are going to be, as always, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, Domas, Kevin Huerter, and De'Aaron Fox. For the Suns, you've got Josh Okogie, Bates drop at the 2, Nurkic at the 3, Eric Gordon. Now let's talk about Eric Gordon for a second. That is one of those circled names, right? Eric Gordon. To me, that is a backup point guard the Kings could have had last year. Could have had him. The Clippers got him, I believe, on like a 1-year deal, expiring deal. They got him for that second half of the run, right? But it cost them relatively nothing in return. Backup point guard is what Grant's been preaching forever, and I agree with Grant. The Kings need a solidified backup point guard that can run the offense but can also score. It's got to be a veteran guy. And Eric Gordon would have been a prime example of a guy to bring in for Sacramento because he can line it up at times. And so watch for him and Booker tonight. They could have a big game if the Kings do come in and they take this game not as serious as it should be. On the active list for the Suns, Grayson Allen, Bradley Beal, Durant, Damian Lee, among others. So, again, the Kings, no excuse for not winning this game tonight. This is one they've got to have in the land of the rising sun. Jordan Ford is inactive for the Kings. Colby Jones also sent down to the Stockton D-League team. He is not with them. Alex Len and Jalen Slauson out. Len still recovering from the high ankle sprain. Man, the Kings miss Alex Len. Alex Len was giving them some very good minutes in place of JaVale McGee prior to the injury. So I would love to see him come back, and I would love to see him be able to make an impact on this team, especially when we see bigs that can run the floor, which a lot of the Western Conference teams that are in the top 8 have. So very interesting. Chris Duarte is available for the Kings tonight. So another guy that can give Phoenix some trouble. But again, that is going to be the Phoenix backcourt is going to be where the Kings win and lose this game. And this could be a very, very fun game watching Booker and watching De'Aaron Fox go. Malik Monk as well. Come on. This is going to be fun. Hopefully it's fun for Kings and their fans as well. They're set up, Jesus, to be able to make a trade if they need to. Let's put it that way. You've got Harrison Barnes that's on a very friendly contract for this team, and you've got Davion Mitchell expiring contract. And when I look at the Kings pieces, so maybe some of the pieces that the Kings have right now, we've talked about Davion to a degree, but let's look at some of the other pieces because Grant and Jerry have said this religiously. Look, you've got to give something up to get something. And you've got to have somebody that's willing to trade with you. And I don't think really outside of Fox, who wants a contract extension right now, outside of Fox and Sabonis, nobody is untouchable on this Kings team. And I think there are pieces that could bring the Kings a decent player back that could make this team better. But you have to come to the realization, should the Kings make a deal like that at the deadline, here's what could very well happen. You may see some guys excel in different situations, and you're going to say, gosh, we should have never given up on Harrison Barnes. We should have never given up on Davion Mitchell. Look at how well he's playing in Memphis. Look at how well Harrison Barnes is playing in Cleveland, right? And it's because maybe that fits that player so much better, in that role that team needs them to play is exactly what is cut out for that player, as opposed to the role they are being asked to play here in Sacramento. Harrison Barnes getting a ton of attention right now, right? Production, inconsistency. What's it going to be with Harrison? All right. He could be a guy. I mean, there's a reason there's a lot of teams that are always looking for Harrison Barnes at the trade deadline. It's because he can contribute. He is a proven NBA champion. he is somebody that is a consummate professional, right? So he is of popular demand, but a Davion Mitchell he could be a Kyle Lowry of sorts, where he gets into a different system for a contender and is actually producing for them. So what I'm saying is you need to be ready to let go of that could have been here in Sacramento, because in reality, maybe it couldn't have been because the role for those players is just not set right for that player's style. And another team could offer that. So yeah, it's a long way of saying a trade very well may happen. But again, Monty McNair, this team, this front office, Mike Brown, very intent about the group of guys that they have and running it back with this team. So I don't see them giving up on it easily, but the complaint, especially after 3 games of Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram giving you absolute fits, is the Kings do not have that guy that can guard that type of player. And I'm not saying of the same skill level as Zion or Brandon Ingram. The style of play, the body style, the matchup, they don't have the consistent defender. The guy getting tasked with that most nights is Keegan Murray when he's on the floor. So is that the missing piece? Who knows? Let's just get back tonight. Kings in Phoenix against the Suns. Grant and Jerry will be here at halftime, and I will be with them as well, which will be a lot of fun to be back with the boys. And then Grant and I wrap things up after the game here on If You Don't Like That. So a lot of people talking about we need a trade, and a lot of agreement behind that. Again, we're not 25 into the season. We are not even at the halfway point, but I think as we get closer to January, we get closer to February, that's when we start talking about it a little bit more, because you got to have somebody that's available and out there, and it's got to be the right trade. You can't trade just to trade. And I know that goes without saying, but the Kings they cannot miss on any potential big trade, whether it be for OG Anunoby, whether it be for Pascal Siakam. They can't miss. So that's why it's very important that the Kings slow this thing down, know that it's an option, but evaluate all options and look at it closer as they get closer to the deadline. So I'm excited to have all you here on the pregame show with me. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you will be with us all night for coverage of the Kings and the Suns. We are looking forward to it, and we'll be here all night for you guys as well. Let's get to some NBA scores. Let's talk some scores in the NBA so far tonight. I know the schedule has been a little bit weird because of what is going on, but with the in-season tournament. What are your predictions for the in-season tournament? And don't hit me with look what Halliburton's doing. Now, I'm sure Grant got a lot of that while I was not here, because look at what Fox is doing. Look at how this trade's worked out for this team. That's all you need to know. So anyways, we'll get to some NBA scores right now. Games in action, and certainly everybody knows the Shohei Ohtani contest is heating up. He reportedly is headed to Toronto right now to who knows, see what he's going to do, but headed to Toronto. So Raptors right now down 6 to the Hornets, 96-90, 8:07 left in the fourth quarter. Pistons, Magic in the land of Disney, up over 20 points, 96-60, just under 20 points, 96-68 in the fourth quarter. Hawks, 76ers. Hawks down 3 to the 76ers, 10:28 left in the fourth. Wizards, Nets, 4-point game. Nets lead 54-50. Knicks, Celtics, game right now on NBA TV. Celtics 74-67. That one is just kicking off the third quarter. Cavaliers, Heat, 39-27. Heat in front. Timberwolves, Grizzlies, 49-42. Timberwolves, keep an eye on that one. Grizzlies hanging in there a little bit in the first half, 4:47 remaining. Warriors, Thunder, 39-30. Notice how a lot of these games are tipping off early because of this whole in-season tournament and the scramble to get these other games out. Weird. So Warriors 39-30 up on the Thunder. That one has 7:49 left in the second quarter. Bulls Spurs just tipped off 15-14. Bulls in the lead. Also got the Rockets and Nuggets that will be tipping off later tonight. Obviously, our game, Kings Suns and Clippers and Jazz Mavericks Trailblazers, all to keep an eye on. No, we do not, Reed. Reed, why? What center do we need, Reed? Let me know. I would love to know. So, Baki checking in on some of the games that are going on right now. Yeah, that was a good game. I saw some highlights of that. Someone should play some defense on the Kings. Traffic and Cats. That's a cool screen name. You're going to have to explain that one to me. Well, you've got guys that will play defense at times. But again, I don't know if it's as much of the Kings and nobody can play defense or what they're being asked to do. If they're being asked to do things that just don't fit their style. I don't know what the style of this team is defensively. That is a baseball update. My apologies. I don't know what the defensive fabric of this team is. I don't know what the strong suit of this defense is. I don't know why this defense shows up at times and doesn't show up even as much as they show up. So that's why I say the sample size is so important. We need to see more of what this team's going to do against some of the better teams. Granted, 3 games against New Orleans, that hurts to see the Kings play that poorly that many times against a New Orleans Pelicans team that could be in the play-in, might not even be in playoff contention come playoff time. But the way they're playing now, it looks like they are going to be here for a while. But I say they may not be in because of health concerns, but they're all healthy right now and they are playing well. So I need to see more matchups like that for the Kings and to see what they do defensively, because my basketball IQ, from what I know, from playing the game for as long as I did, for breaking down film, watching the Kings play as much, I'm not able to match up strengths and what the Kings are doing defensively, meaning I don't understand why this person is not hedging, not stepping up. I don't understand why this person isn't pressuring the ball more. I don't know why this person is covering somebody full court. Those are the things I'm trying to figure out, and I'm wondering if the coaching staff is still trying to figure those things out as well. So it's been a very bipolar. It's been a very up and down. It's a very inconsistent start to the season for this team. But at the end of the day, the Kings are in contention in the West, and have at 11-8. The fact that you've been without Fox, the fact that you've played pretty good on the road, the fact that you've been injured pretty much across the board. Mike Brown's not had a full deck to play with for the majority of the season. I need to see that. So, and that starts tonight. Reed, I'm with you here, man. We need a big win tonight. This would be a letdown of a game. This is a game that the Kings absolutely should win. This is a game that the Kings favored on the road by 2.5 points. This is a game that they usually come out and struggle with. So I think matchup-wise, this is a game Kings win. But if the Kings come out and do not play to their opponent's level, or they beat themselves, this could be one of those nights where Grant and I are going down the box score after the game and saying, well, I'm not sure we can point to there. I'm not sure we can point to there. But the one thing we can point to is inconsistency. And I hope we don't have that conversation. I'm with all you. I think the Kings win tonight. I think they have a good game plan for Devin Booker. I think we are talking about a Kings lead at halftime when we regroup with Grant and Jerry. So, hey, I appreciate all you being here with me on the pregame show. Can't wait to be back at halftime with Grant and Jerry. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, get out of here, Haunted Horse. Yeah, get out of here, Haunted Horse. You got to come in with 49ers smack. You might be the first guy that gets blocked on the history of this show. Yeah, Come on, horse. Be better. Just kidding. Love you, horse. For those that don't know, Haunted Horse Chris is the one that did the intro for this season, so we appreciate him. All right, guys, we will see you at halftime. Be back here on If You Don't Like That. Can't wait. Go Kings. Light the beam. Have a good first half from the land of the rising sun. See you.